Hello, and welcome to another video on applications of the normal distribution. In this video, we're going to look at how we can use Geogebra to solve questions that involve applications of the normal distribution. Before we get into this one, I just want to talk about the Geogebra app. If you are using the mobile app on either an iPad or an iPhone or an Android phone or some type of mobile device, make sure that you have downloaded the Geogebra calculator suite from the App Store. It should have the symbol of the pentagon, just like it does as the O in the word Geogebra. If you downloaded just the graphing version of this, there might be something else that you need to do, which is download the probability calculator. If you open up that one, it should automatically bring you to the graphing calculator screen. From here, we can change it to the probability calculator by pressing on what is known as the hamburger, or the three lines in the top left of the picture, and click Switch Calculator, and then click on the probability calculator. We're going to use the probability calculator for all of these examples for today. There are ways of using the graphing calculator to answer them, but it's just easier to use the probability calculator. All right, so to answer questions about the applications of the normal distribution, I like to use these three steps, the first of which is to draw a normal curve and shade the indicated area. The second step will be to identify if the question wants you to find an area or a score. If the question wants you to find an area and they give you values, then we are going to use the normal CDF function in the other calculators, but we're going to use our values here. We're going to type them into the X values. If the question wants us to find a score and gives us an area or a probability, then we're going to use the inverse function of this normal distribution. I'll explain what those mean in a little bit. We don't use these necessarily by terms in GeoGebra, but we're going to use the ideas of both of these as to where we're going to enter our values. And the third step is to then read the question to make sure that we have answered the question completely, answered whatever it's actually asking for. So let's get started with this first example. It says the golf scores for a school team were normally distributed with a mean of 68 and a standard deviation of 3. Some important stuff going on here. First thing is that they tell us it's normally distributed. If they tell us it's normally distributed, that means that we can draw that normal distribution. Second thing is that it gives us the mean and the standard deviation. Great. From here we can label the graph of 68 and the standard deviation of 3. And the last thing it asks us to do is find the probability that a randomly selected golfer scored less than 65. So my first step is to draw the picture and shade the indicated area. I know 65 is less than 68, so I'm going to draw 65 to the left of 68, and it asks us to find the area that it's less than, or the probability that it's less than, so I'm going to shade to the left. From here, let's talk really quickly. Since we're being given a golf score, and we want to find the probability, we are going to use GeoGebra in a way that we are going to enter 65 inside the parentheses. So really quickly, when we go back over to the GeoGebra probability calculator, we want to make our picture look just like this picture. So we're going to shade to the left. Our mean is 68. Our standard deviation is 3. I'm just getting that from the question here. Right? It gives us that the mean is 68 and the standard deviation is 3. And this is what I was talking about in blue here. Since we're given the score and we want to find the probability, we're going to put the score inside the parentheses, and the probability will be what it's equal to. If you look here, it says the P of X being less than or equal to 65 is 0.1587. So the probability here is going to be 0.1587. So the area of the shaded region is 0.1587. There's another example here that says 2,000 students took an exam. The scores on the exam have an approximate normal distribution. So as soon as we see that, again, we could draw the normal distribution with a mean of 81 and a standard deviation of 15. Mean of 81, standard deviation of 15. Part A says calculate the first and third quartile scores for this exam. Well, the first quartile, Q1, is the 25th percentile. oops, that's how you spell it. That's how you spell it. The 25th percentile, which means that there is a value that has 25% of the distribution to the left of it. So in this normal distribution, there is some value, maybe about here, that has 25% of the graph to its left. So in terms of proportion, it would be 0.25 of the graph to the left of it. So for this one, we are given, I should probably write this up here, we are given 25%, and we want to find, it's my bad joke of want to find the test score. So for this one, we will be using the inverse function in GeoGebra. Again, we want to make my picture on the screen look like the picture in GeoGebra, so we have to choose the left side, which we did. We have to change the mean to 81 and the standard deviation to 15. Again, since we are given the percentage or the probability or the area, we're going to type that in here, and our answer will come from inside the parentheses. The x value, the test score, will be 70.9. So that's the first quartile, Q1. Now we're going to find the third quartile. The third quartile just means the 75th percentile. So again, there's going to be some value over here where 75% of the graph is to its left. So 0.75, same thing. The only thing that's going to change is we're going to type in 0.75 as our value here. And we'll get that the test score inside the parentheses is 91.1. So that'll be Q3. Part B says find the middle 80% of the scores that are between what two values? All right, so there's no easy way of doing this in GeoGebra. If you have the TI calculator or the Casio calculator, you can do some fun stuff here with the center. But in GeoGebra, there's no easy way of doing this, so we do need to do a little bit of manipulation here. First thing we need to do is talk about what is in the outside here. Well, if we know that 80% is in the inside, then these two tails will have the leftover bits. What do we mean by that? Well, if 80% is between these two values, then 20% is outside those two values. 100 minus 80 is 20%. And since we're talking about the middle 80%, and these graphs are symmetric, then each of these regions is going to be 10%. So we can just talk about this really quickly. 10% plus 80% is 90%, plus 10% again is 100%. So from here, we could just go into the GeoGebra calculator, shade to the left, which we have, and we can type in 0.1 for the area. When we type in 0.1 for the area, it'll give us the test score of 61.8. Now we could find the area to the right being 0.10 and just type in 0.1 to find the upper value. We'll get 100.22 or 100.2. Or we could also use the left shaded area and make this 0.9. For either way, we're going to get the same 100.2. Either we would find the value that is has 90% of the scores to the left of it, or we could find the same value that has 10% above it. Basically the same thing though. Again, since we're given the percentages, we're being asked to find the exam scores, we're going to type our values into the equals portion of GeoGebra and get our score from inside the parentheses. All right, we have one last example that has 3 parts to it. Example 6.12 says a citrus farmer who grows mandarin oranges finds that the diameters of mandarin oranges harvested on his farm follow a normal distribution, with a mean diameter of 5.85 centimeters and a standard deviation of 0.24 centimeters. Part A asks us to find the probability that a randomly selected orange from his farm has a diameter larger than 6 centimeters. All right, well, I always like to follow my steps. Steps say to draw a picture and shade the region. 5.85. We know that a diameter of 6 centimeters would be approximately here. And we're going to shade to the right of it. Perfect. So we're shading to the right because it says larger than. Now, for this one, we are given the diameter, and we're being asked to find the probability. So we're going to type 6 inside the parentheses. So we just need to type the rest of the stuff in here. We're going to shade to the right because I've shaded to the right, again, because it says larger. The mean is 5.85. The standard deviation is 0.24. And again, since we are given the size of the orange and we want to find the probability, we're going to type 6 inside the parentheses, and our answer will be 0.26598. The probability that x is greater than or equal to 6 is 0.2660. We always round these to 4 place values unless we're told otherwise. I forgot to say that for the first few examples. All right, part B says the middle 20% of mandarin oranges from this farm have diameters between some lower value and some upper value. So we need to find 2 different values for this picture. Again, I like to start with drawing the picture. The mean is 5.85. We want the middle 20%. The middle 20%. All right, so if we know the middle 20% is what we're looking for, that means that there are 2 tails of this graph. The 2 tails of this graph will be whatever's left over. We know that the whole graph will add up to 100%. So if we have 20% in the middle, the 2 tails will be 80%. Splitting this in half, because these graphs are symmetric, will give us 40% in both tails. So again, we can just find the area, find the diameter given the area. So we're going to type the area into the equals side of the GeoGebra, and our answer will come from inside the parentheses. So for my left picture, my lower value here, the lower bound is going to be 0.4. So I'm going to type in 0.4, and my answer will be 5.789. Since my mean is rounded to 2 place values and my standard deviation is rounded to 2 place values, I'm going to round this answer to 2 place values as well. 5.79 centimeters. And for the upper value, we have 2 different ways of solving this. We could use the left shaded area and use 0.6. If we double click in the area, we can just type right over it, and we'll get a value of 5.91. Or we could use the fact that the area to the right is 0.4, choose a right shading, and type in 0.4 outside, giving us 5.91 inside. All right, the last example here says, find the 90th percentile for the diameters of mandarin oranges and interpret it in a complete sentence. So if we looked for the 90th percentile, the 90th percentile would be the value that has 90% of the distribution to its left. So there is some value here where 90% of the values are to its left. Pretty straightforward. I'm not going to complicate this. Choose the left side shading, make the area 0.9, and the size of that orange is 6.157 or 6.16. So we are almost done, but we need to refer back to step 3 from earlier. Step 3 says to reread the question and ensure that we've actually answered it. It says to also interpret this in a complete sentence. We have not done that yet. So the 90th percentile is 6.16 centimeters, which means that 90% of the oranges grown on this farm have a diameter that, oops, I forgot the R, diameter that is less than or equal to 6.16 centimeters. All right, so that's how you can use GeoGebra to work on all of these questions. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.